But of course, in my house, since I was born, my parents have always listened to music all the time, and all kinds of music. It's hard for me to say I'm influenced by this more than that. I studied classical piano practically all my life. And of course Bach hasn't influenced my singer-songwriter EP, but I guess in a way it did. In a more indirect way, maybe, I don't know, being precise, being organized, or having a methodology to write. But in the end I also write a lot, just write when it's not music. So even books are also probably, or poetry also influenced me a lot. I'm looking for a sight to blow my mind, making sure that the sun shines bright. The orientation of my room is facing all the beaches I went with you. There will be no corridors, no dark corners to hide my thoughts. And there is just one guest indeed. No need to ask about this. Oh, the trees will grow so high, it will be this world and I, separate from all the rest, to protect the few feelings left. All the trees will grow so high, it will be this world and I, separate from all the rest, to protect the few feelings left. I'm looking for a sight to fill my mind. Not an easy task, it'll take some time. Imagining a running flue, just like the watercolors I did with you. Two nice courtyards to walk around, and a fountain that makes some sound. An oasis for my peace. I really hope someday we'll meet. Building my mind is difficult without you, but as long as I'm fine. So many doubts appear in every line I try to draw while I cry. Oh, the trees will grow so high, it will be this world and I, separate from all the rest, to protect the few feelings left. Oh, the trees will grow so high, it will be this world and I, separate from all the rest, to protect the few feelings left. I think when I write music, I'm really, really free, and probably that's why I need both.
Oh, I see. It's like a balance, maybe?
I think it's a complete balance, because I approach them in very, very different ways. Of course, in the end, architecture has really helped me to be very organized. You know, it's not easy to now come and do an album and then go back to the office, and you know, and I think in this sense, since I was very little, I've learned to organize myself really well. But apart from that, when it comes to writing and composing, music gives me this really freedom. I mean, in the end, you know, as an architect, you're really constrained by many things, right? You're free to a certain point, but there are laws, there are politics, there are so many. And then, I write a song, I'm there 3 a.m. in my bed, I write a song, I record it with my phone, and that's the song. And then I go into the studio and it's done. A project takes like 10 years. First you have to win the competition, then you have to... So I think music gives me this complete freedom and this immediacy. I think art or sculpture or painting also gives you this result that's much faster. I think what I miss with architecture is everything's so slow. But on the other hand, of course, I love it. It can get a bit frustrating, to be working on something for so long. I remember going into office or working in offices where people were drawing shelves of a project they'd won 10 years ago. I was like, imagine if that was the process of an album. You release the song and you don't even feel what you're releasing anymore, which still happens now because it's still even a bit weird. You release an album 1.5 years after writing it, but that's nothing in comparison with 10 years time or 5 years time, or even to do, to refurbish a house, which seems something so immediate. It's not. So that's what I really like about art and music, and even I paint sometimes, and you paint and you have it physically, it's there. So, and the album, I actually rented a studio in the middle of the mountains, so it was the two of us. We went there. That was in Catalonia, in the middle of nowhere.
Did the experience of recording out in nature like that affect the music, do you think?
I think it didn't affect the writing, because the writing was done, of course, and we literally went to record. But maybe the sound somehow, because of course we were living there, right? And we were eating there, and we were saying good night and good morning. So I think somehow, I'm sure somehow, even in my voice, which is something in the end it's a physical instrument, right? So probably somehow it did, and the views were amazing. So of course it's not the same recording in a guitar in a tiny dark space with no windows than recording a guitar, with those big windows. We had all those mountains in the background, and you would come out when you were tired and you would hear birds, and I'm sure that changes somehow and inspires. I remember even sometimes I would reread lyrics and want to change things, and some of the lyrics would change there. So probably somehow it did.